To make my life comfortable, I have to honor, I have to express my allegiance, gratitude to God. How many people feel in this manner? Do you light a lamp? What is it that you are doing every day as a routine or a ritual, even to express your devotion? So understand that our life is absolutely, what shall I say, distance from divinity. Once you know that, these are the thought patterns of even the believing community. Disbelievers we can understand, let them say or do whatever they like. But what about the believers? They have something like the Vedas, an addiction to Vedic rituals, etc. So you cannot say they are irreligious. They are believers. In spite of the fact that they believe and they are religious, see what happens. Vadanti te nyonyam upasita striyo griheshu maithunya pareshu chashishaha yajanti asrishtanna vidhana dakshinam vrutyai param granthi pashun atadvidaha. This text was written quite a few years back, as I said. It was written in the 6th century. So 1400 years back. So the situation in India must have been far different from what it is now. We were given to a number of rituals. So see their mind, that mind pattern. Vadanti te anyonyam upasita striyaha. The word used is upasita striyaha. In their eye, woman alone is the object of worship. Because she gives me all the sexual pleasure I want. This is the way they think. Upasita striyaha. Actually, who should be worshipped? God should be worshipped. Lord Hari should be worshipped. But they don't have any thought. The entire effort is to keep the women in good cheer. Upasita striyaha. The upasana of the Lord is replaced by upasana of women. Anyonyam. Their talk whenever they meet will be of this kind of a subject. What is that? Sexual pleasure, this, that, pornographic things, this is what. See the so many pictures that are put in the newspapers, magazines, etc. What are they aimed at? You tell me, even now. In the front page of newspapers you will find, the front page vanishes, it becomes one of advertisement. And the type of poses, pictures, etc. they come. What does it disclose? It discloses the mind pattern of our community, the so-called humanity. Does it generally give you any kind of a sublimity? Or does it instill excitement, sexual exhilaration? Is it right? So the words are not irrelevant, absolutely irrelevant. Vadanti te anyonyam. When they see each other, mutually their conversation will be women, sex and such other subjects. Griheshu maithunya pareshu chashishaha. According to them, maithunya pareshu griheshu. These are the very touching and piercing words, descriptions of Sreemad Bhagavatam. This is what Vedavyasa said right in the beginning. Dharma projhita gaidavotra paramo. See, I am exposing dharma without any semblance of delicacy. No fear, no shame, no delicacy. I am explaining it in bare terms, in an open manner. He is explaining it. Maithunya pareshu griheshu. The entire household becomes what? A place and an abode for mithuna. Maithunya. Maithunya means what? Conjugal meeting of the husband and the wife. So that maithunya pareshu griheshu. The entire house is meant only for that. What is this? Chashishaha. And they only exchange words and speak words about this. Yajanti. And as part of their life, they also have some sacrifices done on special days by somebody. Asrishtanna vidhana dakshinam. They will perform sacrifices, but in the required manner, in the benevolent manner, they will not incorporate annadana, etc. Whenever you perform a religious activity, if that activity has got to be good and noble, at least you should feed a few people. That annadana is very important. These people will not give any credence to it. What will they do? Without annadana, they will perform the sacrifices, adakshinam. A number of priests or Brahmins should be called, and everyone will have to be given some dakshina in the so to say. That also they will not do. They only look at it as a constricted ritual, by performing which their own selfish interests of pleasure and pleasure seeking will be fulfilled. Vrutyai param granthi pashun atadvidaha. Atadvidaha is a very, very important word. Not knowing the truth of matters. They are killing animals as part of their sacrifices. These animals are killed. What for? Only because they want to eat the flesh. Not because the god or goddess wants it. So their entire interpretation, understanding of the Vedas, that becomes very distorted. Vrutyai param granthi pashun atadvidaha. Slaughter of animals done in the ritual. Actually, it is not as part of the ritual. They want to kill and they want to eat. So they are using the ritual as a means, as an expediency for it. So the word upasita striyaha maithunya pareshu griheshu. I wish you know Sanskrit. These two things you should remember. I would like you to describe and define the role of your house. What is it meant for? It is for living comfortably, gloriously, nobly and elevatedly for the residents of the house. What are the important events to take place there? The birth of children. Thereafter, the growth of the children. Then, marriage of the children. Further birth of children to them. So the house is a place where every citizen of this country is going to be born. A child is born as a child of you, the parents. But mind you, he is a citizen of the world. Today's child is tomorrow's citizen. And the qualities of that child citizenship is going to shape the citizenry of the whole country. Are you conscious of this? The first and last importance in a household should be for the birth and the growth of the children. We say when a child is born, it is just like God coming to your house. So your attitude towards a child should be, God is incarnated. I should look after the child, make him grow in the best possible manner. By food and drink, you will only develop his body. But with what are you going to develop his mind, vibrant mind and the intelligence? So you must have inner mental, intelligential qualities and enrichments for him. What are they? There comes morality, ethics, spirituality, devotion, philosophy, behavioral and other ethics. So if the mind and the inner personality of the residents, particularly the father and the mother, the mind, the inner personality of theirs, if that is not cared, attended to and enriched, do you think the house justifies its position? Certainly not. And see the what interpretation these people are giving. Upasita striyaha maithunya pareshu giheshu asrishta anna vidhana dakshinam vrutyai param granthi. This is what happens. A woman is actually to be adored. She must be the Mahalakshmi of the house. She cannot be treated as what? An object of enjoyment. Certainly not. Even the most educated people sometimes in their parlance they say, what is there after all? The woman is for enjoyment. Is it right ever to say like this? We are all born of our mothers. Our mothers. We are not born from our wife. We are born of our mothers. So the sight of any woman should give you the feeling of motherhood. Instead of that, what kind of a vitiating attitude, vitiating interpretation we have about life? Everyone is born from a woman, from the mother. So she should be the Mahalakshmi in a house. Instead of making her a Mahalakshmi and the men themselves becoming Lord Narayana, what is it that we make our house and household now? I think there is a great misconception. There is a great correction called for here. Only because all of you like such exciting advertisements, they are put up in the newspapers and the other places. I think our country and our people will have to elevate themselves. Our civilizational standards should be recast, and we should live in a society which will always radiate sublime, inner, mento-intellectual qualities, enrichments and embellishments. This is what I have to say. This is what Sreemad Bhagavata emphasizes. Shriya vibhutya abhijanena vidyaya tyagena rupena balena karmana jadasmayena andhadhiya saheshwaran sadovamanyandi haripriyan khalaha. Oh, Vedavyasa as well as Sreemad Bhagavatam, as also Chamasa, all of them are equally strong in condemning the attitude of self-conceited Vedic scholars and Vedic adherents. Very strong evaluation. I should say these are some things which are the best of treasures of our land. How the human mind picks up even holy things and holy associations to become proud, conceited and blinded. One has to be very, very careful. What is the subject of our discussion? Chamasa is being asked by King Nimi, Bhagavantam harim prayo na bhajanti atmavittamaha tesham ashanta kamanam ka nishtha abhijitatmanam. Srimad Bhagavatam is constantly presenting before you the greatness, the exclusiveness, the magnificence and the all-fulfilling potential and nature of pure devotion. This pure devotion is something that springs up in your mind and heart. We require a guileless heart, a childlike innocence to develop this devotion. The whole universe is nothing but God and God alone. Our own body, made up of Panchabhutas, are nothing other than nature's own evolute and creation. What about the mind, intelligence and ego? They are three constituents of the 8 which go to make the whole universe. Bhumi rapo nalo vayuhu kham mano buddhirevacha ahankara idiyam me bhinna prakriti rashtadha. This is from Bhagavad Gita. Krishna tells Arjuna. Bhumihi, earth, apaha, water, analaha, fire, bhumi rapo nalo vayuhu, wind or air, thereafter akasha, come. All these are 5 external elements, matter and energy. Now there are another 3. What are they? Mano buddhirevacha ahankara itiyamme bhinna prakriti rashtadha. Krishna says that I become manifest. The word manifest is something I expect, at least by now, all of you will be knowing. When something becomes visible, palpable or experiential, it is said to be manifest. Now, Akasha is something that we will not be able to visualize, see or perceive. But Akasha becomes perceptible because of the other 4 elements. It is not something like that, just like earth, water, air, and also different forms of energy. All of them can be glimpsed and experienced by the senses. So that perceptibility, manifest nature, God by Himself is invisible, imperceptible also. So He wants to become manifest to reveal His full potential and magnitude. So He has become the Pancha Bhautik, the Pancha Tanmatrik universe. So that universe is called Prakriti, Prakarshena. He has specially come to be. And this Prakriti consists of 8 constituents or factors. And 5 are the Panchabhutas. The other 3 are mind, intelligence and ego. Why I am saying this? Every one of you has mind, intelligence and ego. These three, though they appear to be personal and individualistic in nature, really they are not. They are constituents of the huge Prakriti, whose manifestation is the whole endless universe. Now this mind, it is supra-material in nature. When that mind becomes pure, guileless, supreme devotion springs, emerges from it. This is what you have to understand. Sreemad Bhagavatam is trying to make all of you superb devotees, excellent devotees, by making you listen to this narration repeatedly, as a result of which your mind and heart will be filled with Sreemad Bhagavatam, the divine and spiritual concepts, ideas, entities, imaginations and the like, and the so-called world torments will take to heels. This is the purpose of Sreemad Bhagavatam. Now, while it is emphasizing constantly the blessedness, the greatness of pure and simple devotion, it has simultaneously decried and criticized the opposite. And what is the opposite? Even Vedic scholars keep themselves away from the benefit of the supreme devotion. What is the reason? We can understand disbelievers are distant from devotion. But what about the staunch orthodox believers who are taking to the karmakanda, the rituals prescribed in the Vedas? Any ritual, when you perform it well, it should purify your system. It should ennoble your mind. The intelligence also should become very lofty and perceptive. You must be able to see and glimpse the soul, the supreme presence within more and more. But this is not what is happening. Ritual becomes a cause for pride, infatuation, arrogance, assertion, and spoiling the very beauty of human life. See how happens? Shriya vibhutya abhijanena vidyaya tyagena rupena balena karmana jatasmayena andhadhiyaha. Jatasmayena andhadhiyaha. The performers of rituals, the practitioners of the Vedic ritualistic religion, it becomes a cause for generating Himalayan pride in their mind and heart. And that pride blinds them. Andhadhiyaha. They become so proud, so conceited, that they are never prepared to listen to anybody at all. Anyone. They scorn the most lofty people, the chosen devotees, who are extremely dear to the Supreme Lord, the Creator, the Maker of the Vedas, the Creator of the Vedas. But in their eyes, they are good for nothing. They will scorn them, abuse them, show their back towards them. But only in the hands of such Mahatmas, great people, the wise, there is any kind of an elevation or salvation possible for the humankind. So what is the reason? Shriya, because of their wealth, opulence. Vibhutya, various forms of resources, assets that they acquire. Abhijanena, they feel that I am a Brahmana, I am a Kshatriya belonging to a great lineage, I am a Vaishya who can purchase the whole world if I want. So their pride is on account of the wealth and possessions that they have, or the learning that they have, or the great birth that they have derived from the parents. Shriya vibhutya abhijanena vidyaya, or the learning. Of all learning, you will find Vedic learning is the best and the topmost. And they somehow have some degree of Vedic learning. Vidya dadati vinayam is our celebrated proverb. Whenever a person becomes educated, literate, he has to be humble. Humility goes along with education and erudition. But what we generally find is, if a person becomes educated, he has extra skill in mastering any particular subject or the other, he becomes proud. I was told that there is a professor in America who is very, very intelligent. Unnikrishnan, who was narrating this story from Malaysia, told me that Swamiji, he is absolutely intolerant. He cannot listen to anybody because he feels he is super intelligent and he cannot stand inferior conversations or suggestions from anybody. Is this education? Education should instill in you an utterly great, considerable note of humility. You may be educated, But all the world cannot be educated. And unless your education helps you to get along with others harmoniously, sweetly and amiably, how can your education be a human corollary, a human coordinate which we can accept? Suppose you have wealth. The wealth must be not merely used for you. It must be available for the needs of the poor and the lesser blessed people. Suppose you have a lot of wealth and you have no consideration for the others who are less wealthy or less resourceful, people will scorn you like a dog, street dog. What is this? So all these are generally good things, virtues, which will make a man humble, great, noble, amiable, very dear and near to the others. But what happens is the other way. Shriya vibhutya abhijayena vidyaya tyagena rupena belena karmana. Tyagena. These people who are resourceful, they will certainly give off their wealth. Not that they are not giving, they will give. But they will give with pride, with infatuation. I have enough. I am going to give. They will throw away. That's not the way to give. You should give with a lot of humility, softness. We have been conducting an Annavastra Dana Satram for the past, including this year, 26 years. Right from the beginning, I was emphasizing one point. Whenever we give articles, we give some 3 kilograms of rice and a piece of dress with a little sweet. I always insist, don't have a feeling that we are the givers and they are the takers. Thank God that they want it and they come and feel like taking it from you. So we should give it with a lot of fondness. As you are giving to the first man, you should continue to give with the same spirit of fraternity, fellow feeling, kindness, softness, etc. till the last. At no point of time should you feel, come, take. No, certainly not. That should not be our attitude. After all, you give, what for? Giving is your act, taking is their act. They should take it with a lot of fondness and humbleness. That is different. You should give. You are the giver. And by the act of giving, you should be enriched. That enrichment and elevation and blessing will come to you only when you give with a lot of fondness and humility. There is no doubt about it. That is why we are told, have a very sanctifying occasion, a celebrated occasion, yaga or yajna. How many things are thrown into the fire? Very costly materials. If you want, I can conduct a yaga where all your wealth can be disposed of. See, we will make a huge Havan Kunda if necessary, maybe 5 or 6 feet deep, and always there should be fire. To preserve fire itself is very costly. You have to throw or put in some combustible items, particularly in these parts we use coconut fiber, that outside cover of the coconut, that coir as we call it. Now that is constantly kept there. How many you will require? Quite a number of them. And all the items are poured there or offered there, and regularly there must be the liberal use of cow's ghee. It is very costly. There are so many materials, medicinal herbs, costly items, cosmetics and other things. All of them can be used for Havan. So the idea of using Havan is to dispossess yourself of your resources. We are told that when a king in the Raghu dynasty performed a yaga, after the yaga, the whole palace became empty and poor. All the wealth was used. The countrymen and the countrywomen, all of them were invited liberally. Everyone was given food, not for one day, for at least 3-4 days during the course of the yaga, Ashwamedha yaga. And every item that is valuable was purchased and used and given off in the form of gifts. After performing the yaga, the king was left with nothing at all. He had no wealth, nothing. Kausa prabede Varadantu shishyaha. That is the time Kausa, the disciple of Varadantu Maharshi, happened to come to the Raja. And the Raja did not have any golden vessel, golden water pot to receive him, which he would have otherwise done. So he took a mud pot and then put water there and then received the Maharshi's disciple.